Let's take a look at a program and explore its variable scopes. Here is a program that starts with a number of apples, num apples, and asks the user how many apples they eat. We then use the eatApples function to determine how many apples are left over, printing out the result to the console. Take a moment to look carefully at this program, maybe pause the video. What will happen when we run it? We'll get an error because we cannot access the num variable in the eatApples function. This is because it is a local variable created in the main function. Only the main function has access to it. We can get around this by using a parameter. We can add a parameter to the eatApples function so that we can pass in the value of num. To help differentiate between the variable num and the parameter, let's name the parameter eaten. So now when we run this program, it'll work just fine. But we can continue to make this program even better. Since num apples is only changed by one function, let's try and reduce its scope by making it a local variable. So let's move num apples into our main function. Take a second and predict. What will happen when we run our program now? We'll get another error. Now, the eatApples function is not able to access the num apples variable. This is because the num apples variable is local to the main function. So, if we want to be able to input the value of num apples into the eatApples function, we need to use a parameter. We can add another parameter to the eatApples function, starting, so that we can pass num apples into the eatApples function. Also, since we've removed num apples from the eatApples function, we've created the variable apples left to store the value of the starting minus eaten calculation. We want to update the value of num apples to be the number of remaining apples, but the main function doesn't have access to the apples left variable. So, how can we share the output of a function with another function? We can return it. We can return the value of apples left and store it back into the num apples variable. So now when we run this and input the number of apples eaten, the correct information is passed in between functions and we get the appropriate output.